Okay, mic check, mic check, mic check. Should be able to hear. Also see the screen. Mr. Blue here. TradePhantoms.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's dive right in. Being today's date, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. And I'll be going through probably about an hour, give or take, some pre-market prep. What it's kind of like at TradePhantoms.com, and take you to the open and see if we have any potential trading setups. Hopefully everybody's good. What's going on, Walter? YT, check, check, good to go. Back in the home base here. Looking good. Hold on, give me 1 second here. All right, good to go. Good morning. What's going on, Daniel? Aaron, good morning, good morning. All right, looks like we're good to go here. All right, got my screens back, so good to go. Cool. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. As always, let me just bring this up. Always bring this up no matter what. TradePhantoms.com. Institutional order flow of demand and supply, or institutional demand and supply is the backdrop main strategy at Phantoms. Top-down multiple time frame analysis approach. So you are going to see a lot of orange, yellows, and blue color codes on my charts, mainly on TradingView or anything for that matter. The reason being is I color code these designated time frames, that higher time frames, right? So orange is going to be monthly time frame. So anything that you see in the color code orange has to do with the monthly time frame. Weekly is going to be yellow. Daily is going to be blue. So those are the designated color codes. This is a quick little checklist for Phantoms members. I bring this up every single morning to kind of get you started out for your trade plan, etc. We got the candlesticks, bullish, a bunch of fancy names. Good morning, good morning. However, context and location is going to be most important, right? So typically these are going to be all the bullish candlesticks, and we want to look for these in the context of uptrends in demand. We have bearish candlesticks, of course. Again, a bunch of fancy names. However, context and location, typically supply levels in the context of downtrends. Very difficult to find downtrends these days in most markets, or I should say the stock market, as we're at all-time highs, bull market, etc. But these are the names and location and context are going to be most important, as mentioned. Scoot down into the liquidity map, super important. We talk about this with a lot more, need some time here, right? Time and space to learn this. This is what we kind of call the liquidity map. 2 action buys and sells, 2 action buys and sells, but 4 possibilities: buy to enter, okay, buy to cover, okay, sell to exit from longs, or sell short to enter. And we talk about this mean reversion, extension, etc. In the mainly advanced futures classes at Phantom. So when you get to that point in that level, you'll be able to hopefully understand a lot more of what this is. I usually park this to the left as this gets brought up at least once or twice within the trade rooms at Phantoms. Let's dive into the good stuff. Hold on, wait a minute. Before we do that, let me see. So we do have some economic news, if you will. Good morning, everybody. Some planned economic news, if you will. Just hit up forexfactory.com. And scroll down a bit here. So scrolling down, let me just get the whole week going here. There's a basic website here. And of course, today is Tuesday, the 23rd, and 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Might want to put a pin on that. That's 15 minutes after the market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have flash manufacturing, flash services PMI. So that's noteworthy in terms of impact. Fairly decent impact here. Red, right? I just filter kind of I want the more of the higher impact. So I just go over here to the filter, take off those little small ones there, keep that at least, for me at least here, right? You got the high impact and the medium impact there. Boom, bring that down. So that's pretty decent in terms of impact, in terms of news, right? And then also just make a note too, of course we got President Trump speaking, etc. No politics here at Phantoms, but he's on the deck here for speaking at 9:50 a.m. Eastern. Okay, we can check that out. 10 a.m. also have manufacturing, and then we have Fed. Powell speaking. He already made the announcement last week, of course, with the Fed announcement. They cut 25 basis points, potentially 2 more expected. Too early to speak about that right now. We're still digesting last week. Okay, Fed announcement, but he is speaking at 12:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I pop that open, it's just going to be the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce. Okay, it's a luncheon, so he's going to be probably ask some questions and things like that. So potentially he can move the markets. Definitely noteworthy. I'm not going to put too much emphasis or weight on that, but something to at least put on your radar, if you will. The rest of the week, I don't want to get too much into it, but we have unemployment claims tomorrow, of course, every Thursday. And then to finish up the week, we do have core PCE and revised consumer sentiment, right? So today we do have a couple things that we definitely want to, in terms of catalysts that could potentially inject some movement and some volatility. That's pretty good if you know how to trade. Okay, you want some movement there. Let's get to the good stuff here. As always now, Think or Swim here. What's going on, Joe Frank? Good morning. And I'm going to start out with just the major 4 indexes in regard to futures. So I'll pop that open. All right, and I got the S&P daily time frame upper left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, and then we have the Russell 2000 bottom right. Mainly an S&P and NASDAQ kind of dominant trader. Don't get me wrong, I like to trade small caps and sometimes some Dow. But the S&P and the NASDAQ is kind of where the party's at for quite some time now. So staying here, right? So here we S&P daily time frame of the S&P futures. A lot of lines here. We don't need to focus so much on the down all the way down here. But here's if I kind of zoom in a little bit more here, we got the current price is right here. So last, of course I should say yesterday even 9/22. Well, last week we coming off all-time highs, and then yesterday being Monday, starting off this week, another new all-time high, right? So 6756.75 is the S&P all-time high. We're a couple of ticks, basically a couple of points, I should say, away from that new all-time high. So what do we do here? We have to look for what's called positive gamma. There's a couple of, there's no objective level of supply above. Okay, so yes, at some point this market's going to have to come down and mean revert, at least kind of, just have a basic correction at some point, all other things being equal. Yes, of course, that is, I'm sure, pending very shortly, if you will. The question is when, where, and why, right? So if I looked at higher time, if I look up and left, but above the all-time high, there's no objective level of supply. So I'll go straight to it right now. The only thing that we can really use, that's going to be a lot more, I would say, a professional tool, if you will, is going to be market maker gamma and options open interest, if you will. So we're going to be using a lot of this, if you will, options depth to look for where market makers would have to sell, okay, against rallies up, okay, to hedge their portfolio, okay. Just while I'm here right now, today, okay, 67.40. This was called options depth. There's a dark blue and a green line through this, and a dark blue. Everything to the right is bought options. Everything to the left is sold options. Long story short here, this is a massive bought call from the market maker's perspective, which is going to provide positive gamma. Okay, and that comes in pretty strong here at 67.40. Okay, so if we were to rally up, okay, if we rally up into SPX 67.40, that could provide some resistance / supply into the marketplace, as market makers would have to sell into this 67.40 handle / leg. Okay, what's going on, Jo? Jo the GOAT. Good morning to you, sir. Joe Opushaw. So I look. That's why I have this note right here. Look for positive gamma. Okay. Now this is S&P futures, right? So what I went over there was that was the SPX cash index. So I'll put a pin on that 67.40. I guess I could do it right now, real quick. We're going to be roughly opening at or about where we at right now as we stand. I mean, that could change in about 30 minutes, give or take. But as we stand right now, we're not going to be opening up. It's pretty much flat. Okay. So if I look at the SPX, going back to the SPX, if I look what's going on, greatness. If I look at the SPX, 67.40, which is essentially going to be about what 40, 35, 40 points, give or take, from where we are right now in regard to the S&P futures. So in English, what I just meant there is that anywhere at or about the 67, I'd say 90, okay, to 95, up into the 6,800 in the S&P futures, this is where we are going to have some potential positive gamma, okay, that comes into the marketplace. That could provide some supply/resistance from the market makers perspective. Okay, so use that SPX 6740 handle, okay, and reference the S&P futures to give you some insight, okay, on where this market might just put on a potential lid, if you will, okay, or a glass ceiling slightly above. Okay, now of course we're going to look below. Okay, we're going to look below and look for some demand zones as well. As always, as is on the document, okay, one of the first things you want to do is map out last month's high, last month's low. That's pretty far away from now. It's September 23rd, last week's high, last week's low, and of course yesterday's high and yesterday's low. So super important there. All right, and if I just do that even right now with this chart here, I can duplicate this yesterday's low, all right, and put that on this right here, which comes in the S&P's 6695.25. All right, got yesterday's low in there. All right, I'll reference that. There's another daily low right there. We'll get to that in a moment. NASDAQ, very similar. NASDAQ futures daily time frame here, all-time highs. Okay, and there you go, Joe Frank. Joe Frank, good job, brother. We got all-time highs NASDAQ here. And I can say the same thing that I just mentioned in the S&P futures. All right, but I'm just going to take this line here. Duplicate that yesterday's low. I want to reference that for a decent little liquidity sweep potentially today. All right, so mapped out yesterday's low, last week's low. We got a couple levels down here. Got the 20-pair moving average hovering down here as well. All right, and I'm going to drop down the smaller time frames here. Dow Jones, Russell 2000, Russell 2000. You know, we're getting some rate cuts. You know, this thing could potentially get some legs here. Supposedly, typically when cuts are happening and interest rates are lowering, small caps typically have a better condition, if you will, to rally. But it's been a little bit more of a laggard. It's still been a Mag 7 world, if you will. Mapping over into the small time frames at a moment, but just to give some folks here what's going on, Eric A. The lay of the land, we got monthly here, weekly here, daily here, monthly, weekly, daily, super important. Dropping down to the smaller time frames, just give you all the lay of the land. Some new folks always on YouTube here. Got the 60-minute time frame upper left, followed by the 30-minute time frame bottom left, 5-minute here. Last but not least, here we got the 2-minute time frame on the right. However, I'm going to focus on the 60-minute time frame, 1 hour here. All right, and now before I kind of move things here, I usually kind of leave it on a day or two prior, give or take. Okay, here's the current price right now. Very, you know, the gray space and thicker swim is the overnight session. The darker space is the regular trading hours, or the 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. stock market regular hours. Okay, that's the darker space. Gray space is the overnight. It's pretty tight right now, overnight session. I will get to that in a moment. However, you know, just a couple day or two or prior, give or take, Globex high, Globex low. All right, mapping out levels above the Globex high. We only have the all-time high. Okay, looked out for some positive gamma node there, for some resistance, pulled back. Okay, yesterday, ding, 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 opened up at mean revert, boom, positive CFG, just fall through. Yesterday was probably arguably one of the most easiest trading days on the planet. Gotta calm down with that statement. But it just opened up, ding, ding, ding. Mags were up, VIX was down, and markets just went straight up. That was it. Above you up all day. We'll get to that. We have a couple of daily lows down here too. Got a regular trading hours low here. Now we're going to map out yesterday's low, which I already had. I made a note right there, and we're going to update our Globex high, which is a fancy word for overnight high, which is up here. Okay, yesterday's high was right there, 6756.75. That's the all-time high. And then we just kind of dropped down and then went sleep. The markets just went to sleep. S&P futures just while we were sleeping, or at least in the U.S. Okay, the futures were sleeping as well. Didn't really move much at all. That is the Globex high. This is the overnight or Globex low. Nice and tight. This could easily be an impulse, basing a nice little pop impulse potentially here today. However, if this is no longer the new all-time high, This is now the all-time high right above there. All right, just update that line. Strategy is, if we break below the Globex low, do I have an institutional level of demand below said Globex low? Team, do we have this? We have an impulse, basing impulse, which was also a previous all-time high, which was a short couple days ago, last Friday, right? That's literally Friday's high, all-time high. And then we broke that, okay? And then we have some demand on the other side now, right? So this is impulse, basing impulse. Nice, clean, and tight there. Good morning, Blessing. Yeah, NVIDIA, yesterday, NVIDIA, I was wondering, I was like, FANG is not even, the Mag 7 wasn't even super, super strong. But it was mainly Apple and NVIDIA yesterday. NVIDIA had a late day push, and a Tesla in the morning, and hopefully I'll call some Tesla, hit that monthly level. I'll talk a little bit about that today. Oh, I guess it's already 9:04. Juice. But yeah, Apple and NVIDIA just took off yesterday. So pushed up Qs and SPYs and S&Ps. Nice little level of G-trap level here. Right, what's a G-trap? People who are waiting for a red bar down, lower, chasing price lower to sell short, okay, below Globex low, into a level of demand in the context of an overall uptrend. So this comes in about, what, 67.34, call it, for G-trap long, or bullish, if you will. All right, now that level's a bit obvious there, but it's a decent one there. Okay, but there's also, I'd have y'all potentially map out this level in addition to everything here. Now these are not these are G traps, of course, below the Globex low. Let me finish this thought first. So definitely map out this 67.20 handle. Impulse, basing impulse right here. This is where the bulls beat the crap out of the bears here. And this is yesterday's regular trading hours. So it just went doink, impulse, basing, impulse, pullback, basing, impulse, right? So 67.34, 67.20. We got two levels. There's also a level down here too. Okay, now I want to map out and be courteous of yesterday's low. Okay, in the event that these two levels do potentially give out or break, which could happen. We could get some potential bounces out of here, bounces up, or it could just get flushed out and stopped out. Don't get me wrong. All right, we have yesterday's low hanging out right down in here too, the 66.95 handle, give or take. Okay, and right below that yesterday's low. Okay, you want to map out this area. It's a regular trading hours low. All right, so again, multiple levels, just planned levels of attack here. This is below yesterday's low, could be a liquidity sweep, and this 66, call it 90 handle, could be a G-trap long bullish, yes. But also make a note, this is below yesterday's low for a sweep, if that were to happen. $6,690. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, on the upside, we're going to use that gamma SPX 6740, which is above. All right. Sexy Joe Frank, ES 6735. I just want to cross-reference what Joe Frank has mentioned, and perfect. Okay, so Joe Frank was talking or mentioning in the chat there 6735, 34. That's going to be this impulse, basing impulse right there, right below that G trap. Okay, good job, Joe Frank. And if I look at the time, if you look at the time here, what he's doing here is he's mapping out what the futures price is, 67.35 handle, that demand zone right there. Okay, and that also happened at or around yesterday about 12, give or take 12 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 Eastern, give or take that time of level. Okay, regular trading hours yesterday. And if I bring that back into the SPX, for example, that was the S&P futures. This is the SPX cash index, okay? And that is going to be what, roughly 66, if I look at the time, of 11:30, 12, call it 66.70-ish. And Joe Frank already got that right. So 66.70, 66.75. Just went to the SPX 30-minute time frame. Here we have that level of demand, if you will. Also, it's last week's high, which we broke out, already retested. So it's to be another retest on the other side, if you will. All right, important there. And make a note of that. All right, and going over here, 60, what price was that? 66.75, 66.70. And if I investigate this, there's a decent little positive gamma node there. All right. We also have 67, decent little positive gamma node here as well. All right, bought calls, bought puts right here. That's providing a little bit of demand support, if you will. All right, a little bit of negative GEX here. So above if SPX remains above 6,700 and we kind of grind higher, a little bit of a negative GEX node in between here up into that 67 positive gamma, and then we get the 66.75. As you can see right there, 66.70, decent little positive gamma node. All right. So in English, as prices come down into this area here, positive gamma, that could provide some demand. Okay, put a green there because it's below price, positive gamma. Weak demand. There you go at 70. And above, we have positive gamma at what? 67.40. So this could provide some, I put that red, this could provide, the notes here, this could provide some supply/resistance, if you will, for today's market based on market maker. All right, this 6,700 is going to be pretty interesting here. A nice even number as well. Are we going to break and hold above there for the morning? We'll see. Could be a little bit choppy right out the morning, but try not to think and fail so much. Trade the tape. Let's move on. So pretty decent range there. And again, in the S&P futures, I'm going to time that with the SPX. Pretty clean today, folks. Pretty clean today. NASDAQ, nice defined levels. All right, blah, blah, blah. It's 9/11. We got 20-something odd minutes for the open, right? So here's current price, blah, blah, blah. New all-time high, break. Okay, we've been talking about this for a long time now, where path of least resistance is still to the upside. Bull market, bull market, bull market. At some point, that will dry out and stop. This month of September is typically more weaker. Not happening this week. This month. I still have about a week and a couple days, right? But we'll see. We're at all-time highs, right? Here's the impulse equivalency in the NASDAQ futures here, 1 hour time frame, equivalent to the S&P. Here's that impulse right in here. $24,925. Deleted. The wrong thing there. Yeah, Aaron, almost too clean, right? Yeah, this level's it's nice. I like it, but it's a little obvious retest level. You gotta respect it, but yeah, this is the new all-time high now, right? Up here now. Just a short yesterday's low. Watch out for liquidity sweeping right below yesterday's low. There's another little daily low right there. All right, right, so 24,000. $24,710. It could be a G trap long, yes. Liquidity sweep yesterday's low, right? It's not aggressive, YT. I changed that notation. And sometimes the closer ones right above, if there's not a great formation, that would be aggressive YT. IOF, right? But it's a nice formation right below there. Yesterday's low sweep / G trap. All right, right there, 24,710. All right, and we have to put some, there's something in here, right? So I'm sure if I drop down real quick, there's a couple levels here, right? So a lot of times we're in here overnight. So if we're going to break these levels here, we might be testing, with these levels here, right? Don't get me wrong. If I go down a little bit more lower on the NASDAQ, there's a couple levels in here, but this is within yesterday's high and low. So we can put some respect on this zone here. So go 805, 24,805, that is. All right. And that's pretty much for the most part. Pretty simply put, there's a couple levels of demand below current price. Gold on fire. Please tell me my Phantoms members are just eating up gold. 24,875. Let me see what that it looks like. 24,875. Yep. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in here, folks. Mark Wahlberg. Looking at the 24,875. That's that guy right there. Indeed. Ton of stuff in here. Is there a level? Put it this way, folks, for my Phantoms members who know, is there a level on level on level below current price? Give me yay or nay on that. Level on level on level on level on level on level down here. Right? Mark Wahlberg level. Level. Joe Hopenshaw loves that gold. I see why. It's beaut. Screaming monthly, weekly, daily, up, base, breakout, September, breakout, alert, right? Impulse, basing, pullback. See ya, gone. Just relentless here. Right? Barely getting some even pullbacks into the weekly. We have some daily pullbacks, some daily low sweeps, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to go too far in the back. We've got 13 minutes for the open here. Right, there's a new that was once the all-time high, pulled back, daily low sweeps, etc. Base, see ya, gone, complete alignment. Okay, this was once the previous all-time high. I'll just make a note of that before kind of a somewhat decent pullback. Fed day. All right, so I'll do previous all-time high because now that we broke out. This would be the retest on the other side. Keep it simple, baby. Kiss me because I'm stupid. Keep it simple, stupid, because I'm stupid. Right? So there's a new breakout segment, y'all. So did gold create a new, beautiful level of control now? Indeed, right now today, Globex high, Globex low. And you can see just Globex low, sweeps. These are all demand levels below daily low, sweeps. Talking about that, I was hoping that kind of, I'm always hoping gold to come down a little bit more low so I can accumulate more. But for the Globex high today, now here, excuse me, Globex low here. If we were to break the Globex low, of course, we'd have to break these demand levels in here, et cetera. Now, just be careful. We could swipe. Gold's volatile sometimes, right? So there's the Globex low. Do I have level of demand below Globex low? There's the retest on the other side of that, as mentioned. And we also do have 3788. Yep, that demand right there. Indeed. Sebastian, good job. This is the level below Globex low. $57. I'm sorry, 37. Call it 58. This is a G trap because it's below the Globex low. Now, we might not get down there and swipe below there. Keep that pinned, of course. All right, there goes that retest level down here on the other side, right? Okay. And then Sebastian was even mentioning here, if I look down and left, we do have this impulse, a bit of a basing and an impulse right here, right? Something there, indeed. All right, a couple levels on here as well, in addition. Now, I will put an aggressive tag on this. It's a demand zone, proper location, etc. But in the event that we pick up some momentum, we could remember stop losses, right? Sometimes, especially after a big move, they might want to swipe, right? So therefore, I'll put a slight. I'm not going to exaggerate this, okay? But a slight, just one asterisk, okay, with an AGG lower levels, right, representing aggressive, but smalls, like small one asterisk to not exaggerate, okay, no caps, etc. Okay. And again, the reason why is because, yes, that is a demand level, right? Impulse along a basing right here. We have a rally, so you can't argue that, right? That's a fact. You can see with your eyes. However, the reason why it's aggressive, just be careful because they might, if they did want to sift out, I should say, some liquidity. Okay, there goes that Globex low. Okay, and that level below Globex low. In fact, might even be able to see it's a little sneaky guy right below the Globex low. Not quite. But, I guess you can include this whole area here. So there it is right there. All right. So, yeah, this might be a little bit, this one will be a bit better, if you will, because it's below that set Globex low. So some trapping, okay, trap. Hopefully that makes sense. Right? And think of it this way, too. Anybody who's taking this level of demand, impulse basing, they have the stop losses placed somewhere down in here, right? And so that's just what I'm saying here. Why I have that aggressive notation there, very slight, versus this non-aggressive, non-notation down there. Okay, some sweeps, sweeping. All right. Little guy right there too. But we got 9 minutes and we got to move on here. All right, I'm not even going to reference short. You'd have to look at some options, open interest on GLD, ticker GLD, which is the gold ETF. And we can get some options, open interest. If we look at that, VIX, where you at? VIX down, market up, VIX up, market down. A lot more to that 30-day implied vol on the SPX. And we got what, 16 VIX, give or take, right? Pretty low. VIX is off its lows while markets are at all-time highs. Just a little people just pricing in some kind of complacency risk, if you will. Markets are just, nothing's really stopping this thing from going up, right? Now we have to be careful with that, because markets just, of course, any moment can just give us a pullback, right? So, however, VIX slightly elevated up. Got a weekly on the left here, got a daily on the right, no big deal. Again, we're not really mapping out supply demand. This is more of a gauge. Let me just go straight to the overnight high, overnight low. Internals page here. So this gray space, of course, is the overnight. So just pin that overnight low there. If VIX were to break the overnight low and remain low and kind of grind lower, that would be more bullish, if you will. VIX down, market up. Overnight high here. If the VIX were to break the overnight high, sustain above the overnight high potentially, and maybe even trend up, not just a quick spike and lower, but it starts spikes and it kind of sustains, if you will. Okay, maybe even gets us a little intraday high, low, so things like that up. Well, that could be the market down. Okay, market down, VIX up, market down, inverse correlation. You should just pin kind of the middle. Well, last time I saw it, so therefore I can kind of keep track of that. Put that there. Got another couple internals there. 7 minutes before open, so want to kind of push forward here, spies. Adam, US dollar will be devalued to pay US debt. So gold, yeah, that's the only probably way. Adam, dollar down. But man, who's paying debt, man. This world just this civilization at some point is just gonna be taken over by robots anyway. So that debt's not going to be paid. Pay to who? Who's paying who? The only thing in this world is energy. That's it. If you know that, you know that. It's a bullshit fiat. It's all fake, y'all. It's all fake. That's why I try my best to be a trader and just get as much paper take as much paper out of other people's accounts into my own account and use the paper fiat to live life. Who's paying that? Who's paying that debt? That debt's not going to be paid. That's like asking Genghis Khan back in the day to pay his debts. He's dead. Everything's dead. Everybody's dead now. So everybody's talking on the screens and TV as if they know what's happening. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. It's a facade. It's a fugazi. Just enjoy it. Enjoy your life. SPX. And when you start to make a lot more money, you'll start to realize that. Debt. Who's paying that trillions of dollar debt? Nobody. Can't be paid. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Spies. Playing house. Playing human. Give me a trade, man. You won't follow the rules anyways. SPY. Green bar closed here. Not even a gap. Nothing crazy here to say. We already kind of went over some gamma here. The market's about to open in about 4 minutes. Let me see Qs. Slight gap up. No big deal there. Let me get straight to some of the MAG 7 here. I know there's a lot of other tickers. Why is the computer acting so slow? Haven't been. I'm sorry. There's a lot of other stocks, but mainly I'm going to be going through the MAG 7 as the options are super liquid, which is important. Apple, stellar day yesterday. Just broke, pain gap on from Thursday into Friday. Okay, red bar closed, clearing gap up, boom, and then continuation gap yesterday and just exploded to the upside. We do have this all-time high in Apple. Mark that down. Okay, so we're only about what? Even this pre-market quote right now, 5 points away. Nothing crazy here. Doesn't mean that we're going to get up there today, but okay, if long, definitely want to take profit and take some profit at this all-time high. I own Apple for the record. Who doesn't? I'm sure if you've been trading long-term for long-term investment portfolios for at least in the past 10 years, give or take, depending on when you started. I mean, everybody should probably own at least one share of Apple, right? I mean, who doesn't own Apple at this point? I say all that to say this. Of course, if we make an all-time high team, what am I going to be doing here? I'm going to be taking, especially Apple, that's been a lot more of a laggard, needing to innovate, very behind between this whole AI stuff and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm going to be taking some profit on some Apple, okay, long-term portfolio, even in Grandma's account. Okay, even in Grandma's account. Am I going to get all out of Apple on my long-term portfolio in my own personal account, in my own grandma's retirement account that I've been managing for many years? No. All right, but I am going to be taking some profit, booking some gains. Okay, at this level on the long-term portfolios. Okay. I even shaved out a little something yesterday too, as well. In this massive pump, I just hit the button, shaved out a couple shares there. Today we'll see how if we get continuation on that. Lily, TP, Amazon. Oh, been annoying. I'm not even going to waste oxygen and precious time on this at the moment. Weekly on the left, daily on the right, just a mess. There's betters out there, better tickers setting up versus Amazon. Broadcom, interesting. We got a pull back here. Watch out for this last week's low sweep. In the event that we do drop, and this is the abyss, if you will, of the gap. Right, this is earnings close there, big, massive gap up. We still have not filled that, so they sometimes like to play a lot of games here, right below these level traps. Some people that are like, it's going to fill the gap, it's going to fill the gap, it's going to fill the gap, it's going to fill the gap. You get trapped there. If I have more time, I explain that more. For today, you can watch out for last week's low and also this little low right there. A lot of traps are probably going to ensue at around this level here, 331, give or take, plus or minus. Right below that level. No, I'm not ready yet. All right, let this load. Get a quick peek at internals. IBM, beautiful. Own that stock outright too. Been mentioning that for quite some time. Looking good. Beautiful fall through yesterday. Advanced declines, positive 700. On advanced declines. VIX on VIX. Valdi slightly up 2.2. Extreme would be positive -3. Nothing on SPYs right now. Just kind of carry over from yesterday. Pretty quiet. 34-second delay. Let me see, be patient with this open. Let me change this over. Amazon. Wide range bar off the open down. Google trying to do some things bullish. So Amazon has wide range bar lower. So you can lean against this red bar on Amazon. Long put Amazon. Google trying to break out there. Google long call. Trying there. I'm going to snag some Amazon here. Put. Pick up the 222. Or 30 delta here for $1.44. ish. All right, right click, copy this code. This picked up the 2-2 half strike on AMZN. Put. Badish. So bot put means bearish. This is the 2-2 half strike here. Copied and pasted that code there of the option. And this is long put, which is bearish. Okay. Premium 147. So we got some contracts here. So we can already start to put some TPs. Okay. These are pendings, of course. All right. We'll see if that wide range bar holds. Broadcom trying to go here. Let's see, let's be patient. Oops. So we set PLTR, AMD. PLTR has a decent little pain gap there on dailies. PLTR long call, better than holding up a little bit better than Apple at the moment. I mean, not Apple, Google. Speaking of Apple, it is kind of holding some bids there. Better than Google. This is Amazon. This is where we got long. Long put bearish. Yep. Krishna, red folder at red. All good. Noted that. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, Sebastian. Thoughts on MU earnings today? It's already at highs. This is beginning at TP, folks, right? We should get your TPs out. TP zone. Red or bearish, blues are buys, or in this particular case would be buy covers. TP, take profit, Timmy. All right, are y'all TPing? Okay. AMD, looks like I missed an AMD trade from our good friend Mark Wahlberg, my man. Nailed it. He's the man. And AMD, beautiful like this. We were looking at this monthly level down here. I took a loss on this on an inside day here, messing around, and then came to this monthly, which we actually are planning in class, this monthly low retest, and in the event that it went a bit more lower. So this wide range bar, so not bad one, Mark Wahlberg. That wasn't an easy setup there, but hit it. Good job. Broadcom back alive. Back alive, I should say. Back alive. So still within this basing, which is kind of annoying. We don't have proper 100% alignment on the intermediate hood. I mean, JP Morgan's going to probably just be free money today. Long call. I mean, just long call. Make sure. Oh man, I didn't even take this in my other account, which I'm still. I didn't even take this. I should have took this in my other account. Oh crap, I forgot. I'm back. It's all good. JP Morgan long call. You can literally just pick up maybe like 315 for 268. Long call JP Morgan here. This is a long call JP Morgan. I can even TP some here. New low on Amazon. TP. My man, great one. Amazon looking good there, right? Couple minutes before news there. You can liquidate some. Risk management purposes. And just went with the crappier, more weaker Mag 7 stock here, right? Nice, easy trade. Nothing to write home about. that goes. There's a pop. Nice little pop there. S&P futures, NASDAQ. Good job, YT. IOF. NASDAQ coming into that first level. UNH. UNH trying to do its thing here, rotating. It's still in a bit of a pinch, but it got crushed. So, I mean, I'm hoping y'all. UNH, it made that new lower low before this whole pickup here. So we were talking about that in that massive multi-level. This might be the temporary bottom for a little while. And that's a rip today, so far off the open. Let's see. So we got 66.90. We got 66.70. Amazon cranked. Yeah, TP some JP Morgan. All right. Amazon new low. JP Morgan up. Amazon flush. TP, some AMZN. Dump some more of these. Because I got a late entry on my other account over here. Excuse me. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. All right. Put your stop loss at break even on everything. All right. I'm done for the day. Am I not sneak into that Amazon trade in my other account? I haven't traded my other account for a little while. I was doing a little something, a little bit of swing plays here and there. But anyways, I'm back into the home base. So We're over that now. Good to go. I forgot to put my Amazon trade in there. We all good. Let's see. I mean, we got VIX. I mean, VIX is basically flat, up on an uptick after that little bit of the news there. I don't even really care about the news at the moment. You know, it's out. It moved. Hopefully, it can move some things, but nothing too crazy. Did not pull the trigger on Google. Did not fall through. Did not like that bar coming in there. And once I seen the video down off of yesterday's explosive day, it was hard to get in some AVGO. So I did some JP Morgan just because what's stopping JP Morgan, it's all aligned. And then just hit Amazon, which was the weaker Mag 7 on a wide range bar lower. So just keep it simple. Against declines up. It's bullish. Valdi up. A lot more buying pressure versus selling pressure on the New York Stock Exchange. Good job, PLTR, new high. The team got it. UNH just popped new high too, I think, not too long ago, real quickly. PLTR equal to new high. Joe Frank and the team know the deal. So yes, pending new high, but equal to high. You got to hit it just in the event that we don't pop new high, right? JP Morgan, and let me TP some more JP Morgan. Let me take my own dang advice, right? Got a nice 40 pop here. Nice. Let me take some of that more. Take my own advice. All right. Terrible fill. Amazon on fire. Yeah, XOM is XOM actually has a decent little it's so ugly and choppy overall, but I will say good job identifying. This is a nice little pro gap up. Nice little pro gap up here, follow through on XOM. XOM hasn't had the greatest setups in the world here, but decent little pro gap today on that. Hood, let's go, do all-time high. It's one of the heaviest stocks that I got in my portfolio, so this thing is just crushing all year in a good way. JP, smaller caps, oh my God, they're finally making a new high. Equal weighted up, okay. This is not even a mag day today. Mag's actually down. The Mag 7 SPX equal weighted up. So everything else other than mags. Bam, bam, bam. MSTR. My options went to 0 last week. No. Is the SPX going to pop? Man, Amazon. From 150 to 300% gain on the option if you're still in those TP some. Kind of annoyed that I didn't snag this in my other account. All I had to do is look left real quick and click that button. I just completely forgot like an idiot. All good. What a trade. Easy. I like the easy ones. All right, coming into another daily low team. Make sure you TP heavy. Another daily low right below here, okay? Easy setup. See ya. TP heavy. Money! IWM all-time high. There he is. No name. No name, Mr. Pink right there. I know who he is, though. Finally. Dow Jones, small caps, new all-time high. Yes. Yes. S&Ps and NASDAQ are on their 100th and 50th just this year. I'm happy Apple's up, so I could dump some shares in them. iPhone 57 pending. It has 3 cameras. I swear it's different. We have to generate revenue, so let's no longer put the let's make them buy the iPhone pieces and make them put it together. Hughes not looking good. I'll be careful with the mags are heavy. Choppy. Yeah, it's all yeah, Joe Frank. Good job, sir. Yeah, the internals are like fairly okay. Cumulative tick higher, advanced declines up. VIX is on a little bit of an uptick there, right? So this is basically, so it's like, okay, this, what's happening here, right? So it's mainly, if I look at the MAGS mags, I should be decreasing some more morgues there, but if I look at the mags, the mag 7 is pretty heavy at the moment, right? It's a monthly daily. This is only charting like, Apple, Amazon, Broadcom. This is the ETF for mags, right? The top 7 stocks. So that's a little bit heavy today, right? That's a little heavy today. But then if I look at the SPX equal weighted, that's taking all 500 stocks and equally weighting them, right? I know Apple's a lot bigger and Nvidia's huge, right? Microsoft, the top 3, that makes up the S&P, a very high percentage, if you will. Okay, Nvidia, Microsoft, like Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, those are the Mag 7. So you see how they look kind of heavy, but everything else is fairly okay for the most part, give or take. Right. So putting that together. So just be patient with the indexes. All right. What do? You wait. You wait for a level to come to you. We're still going sideways. All last night, S&P's still nothing. At least the NASDAQ, it's a little more heavier because it's tech heavy, of course. Or it is tech, right? So the Mag 7, of course, a lot of that is tech, right? So that's why NASDAQ futures here did indeed break or snap below its overnight low, right? It's coming into this level. So if you wanted to work on this, because I'm going to bang out of here soon, pretty shortly, over my hour here. This is NASDAQ futures. This is a bit more of the weaker one, just for right now. We just did have this negative CRG bar right here. So you could potentially lean against this. All right, if you get short this negative CRG, which you could be short right now, and just put your stop loss, I'd say above this pivot right here. It's already going. Anybody already kind of working on that? By the way, hopefully tomorrow into this week, I got those prop accounts ready to go. I'm almost done with everything, so I'm gonna work on that with y'all. We just had a new low, so you got a TP and scale up of some, especially as we start to get closer down into that level. Yep, and then Mark Wahlberg is mentioning the G trap is coming up here soon, right? So if short TP, pretty heavy, okay. And protect. You mean backside? Like if it comes in here, you could potentially wait for a backside. You could do that. All right, TP from shorts, and right, but which one's weaker, NASDAQ? So I'd work a little bit more heavier. Well, I'm NASDAQ short. S&Ps are a bit more, it's still down, or S&Ps are flat, but it's a little more, I'd say, relatively for now, stronger. Okay, so I'd pad, right? I'd pad the NASDAQ. What long? What do I mean by pad? What do you mean by that? I won't be so as quick to get long NASDAQ, right? I'd actually work, if I'm short. That's why I hate saying like if I hate doing that and saying that. I got to bang out here soon, but I'd work long Qs, right? Like NASDAQ short, which was also just another TP right now because that was a very quick little new low right there. You got to TP some as we're coming closer to that level there, right? TP some, right? And I'd be more patient with the NASDAQ long, right? Maybe we'll come a little more deeper and potentially maybe the Mark Wahlberg level, 2487-ish, right? And try to, right? And the S&P, even though it's a bit more stronger, the S&P, of course, we got that level mapped out 6734-ish, but S&P, there's a little 6740-ish right in there. All right, I'll keep that gray. All right, be careful with that, but that would be the first level of impulse, basing impulse right below that G trap low, right? Does that make sense? So this one would be decent for a just limit order front side if we sweep doink in, right? And especially down here, 6737 doink in, right? Because it's a bit more relative stronger versus compared to, relatively speaking, NASDAQ, relatively a bit more weaker, right? And so I'd work NASDAQ lower, high sequence. Of course, if we get deeper down in here, TP aggressively on shorts, okay? But as I'm waiting for potential S&P futures to potentially snag a better long, I'm going to pad NASDAQ and be a little more patient. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right, Dylan is letting us know Amazon TP the beep out of Amazon on. Because we're getting some weeklies and daily lows. Oh, this is actually, he is correct. This is actually a weekly time frame. This is a weekly low. So Pinsky is a trained, and then there goes the wide range bar. On the other end, for exhaustion, right below that weekly low, TP heavy. Right. And so this is igniting. This is not the greatest one here. There's another weekly low down here too if it wants to flush. All right, but red bar after wide range bar towards the end of just a nice little move here. Exhaustion, green bar fade, and potential mean revert pending. Too easy. Too easy. Good job, Pinsky. Igniting. Exhausting. What does all that mean? Go to TradePhantoms.com. And you'll find out. We can fix your shit if you let us, but we don't care if you don't. The people who are caring or care about their trading and investing know the deal. BK, y'all were Wall Street Boone. I think I know who that is. My man. I see you. BRKB. What a beast. Looking juicy. This thing's cycling. It's rotating. It's happening. It's happening. It's rotating. Good job, team. Keep an eye on AVGO. It's creeping. Love you too, brother. I see you. Wall Street Boom. Meta. Meta got no love from us today. I'm a blessing. Blessing. I love when meta's in play. This is the only chart that I don't think I updated over the weekend, which is a crime. I have to update this chart. I think this is the only one that I didn't update, which is not cool. This is the current week, obviously, here. Just coming back, impulse correction, impulse pending new high. We're just kind of reverting back into the Mark Wahlberg. Subscribe to my IOF page and watch me on Saturdays. Watch me oil up and glaze these charts on weekends. All right, this got to stop. Got to end the session. Levels, be careful here with Meta. Location wise. At one point, it's already mean reverting. Kurt G, my man. Here's why. Well, that's a loaded question. Here's why. Mean revert on what end, right? Or what time frame, if you will. So, volume weighted average price, right? That blue line right there. Okay, so ding, ding, ding. We opened, and then we're moving away. Here's a daily VWAP away from it, and this is even yesterday's VWAP, which is going to be, of course, this week's VWAP. Okay, so if I just focus on kind of Monday being yesterday, got a daily time frame on the left, right? Got a 2-minute time frame on the right, and here's yesterday's VWAP for the day, and this is going to be this week's VWAP because yesterday was being Monday. All right, so ding, 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 ding. Market opened, of course, boom, slam down, right? Today, this is today's VWAP here. This is yesterday's VWAP. So you see the slam lower, moving away, and we broke a couple of even daily low here. We only have really basically one daily low there, and a daily / weekly low right there. There's another one weekly low down here, which is also a daily low too, but a weekly is over here as well. Okay, so see how this is getting stretched more, red bar, and we barely even had a little slight green bar coming up, very rare until we sifted out that daily low there, weekly low here, and there's another weekly low there. Okay, then we have a wide range bar take away, right, exhausting away, right, from deeper, further away from VWAP here. But also remember, if we're away from VWAP, we just can't look and squint our eyes and say, oh, this is enough, right? Why did Pinsky and myself shout so much more about TP heavy here? Because we had a what to the left, folks? What do we have to the left? What do we have to the left? We had a level. We had a weekly / daily low down here. So if short, right, you have to buy low, right? So buy to cover, wide range bar here. That is exhausting. That's going to be trapping more people. More right here? How many of y'all, once you miss a move off the open, it's like it keeps going. Then you're like, you know what? Oh, you know what? Screw it. Let me just get in now. Let me get in right now. Towards the end, look at that red bar coming in. Look at that red bar. Oh man, it might be still moving to go. Let me just get in. Chase. Boom. Gotcha. Right below those daily, weekly lows. Igniting bar here. Right, and then we went on a mean revert back into VWAP. Okay, does that make sense? So it's just already mean reverted. Okay, this is a mean revert as we speak right now. Now, if you are long, you have to be monthly, week monthly, or weekly. Okay, maybe a daily low, but if you're more experienced, but monthly or weekly low, minimum weekly. Let's say minimum daily, depending on experience. For a what's called reversion, climactic reversion. So that did kind of come in down here. So like TP heavy started to get exhausted, right? Even if it did another little weekly low right in here, okay, that could have been a buy. Take profit heavy from shorts, and maybe not get all out, but maybe you drop your size down very small. Okay, start to protect, and then maybe if you wanted to take what's called a mean reversion, you'd have to have a level, right? So a weekly / monthly level making a new lower low, okay, for the pending just quick little mean revert. So if anybody snagged into this below that weekly low snag exhaustion, are you already TPing? Did you already get your slight? What is this? This is a up here. This is going to be a sell to what? This is going to be sells, right? So you could even say add to Amazon, right? Or roll, okay? Or roll. I could take a quick little entry, quick little stop loss right here if wrong. And should have waited for a negative COG there, so a little bit early there, but just showcasing this. All good. And this will be what? Sell, short, or begin to sell, short, to enter, slash, this is going to be what? Sell, to exit from longs. I did not wait for a negative COG. Should have waited for a negative COG. So that could potentially be still pending there. Right. There you go. Good job, Crutchy. My man. All right, I'm going to bang out of here now, folks. I'm going to bang out of here for now. The video close to all-time highs. Pull back today. On it. Yesterday was an explosion day. AVGO trying to print something there. Intraday. There's a little bit of negative GEX above. A little bit of negative GEX above. If we can get some steam rolling there. AVGO printing something there. Just missed my chance to TP some more morgues. Blessing and snag some all right, meta bounce. Good job. And AVGO. Inside day for the third day, off the 20. It's setting something up there for intraday. We're trading 343s on AVGO. Let's see if I were to pick up the 347 half. I'm not sure how much juice this is going to have. I don't like it as much because of the inside day for 2 days, give or take. Market's a little heavy too. Fang's not that great, so be careful with this trade. But a little something here. All right, let me make sure you get some targets, etc. on this. If the thing just pops, I guess today's high is already up here, plus data decay. So even if it just comes like an equal to high, you might be able to shave off some here. Okay. I think Amazon got clipped. VWAP test. They can still continue to work on that if need be. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. I hear you, brother. Netflix. Oh, Inside Day on AVGO. Decent location though. So I'm not sure if this is going to have legs, but I'm trying to work on this here. All right. Bob Rawson. Painting pictures into profits. One, two, three, so on and so forth. Kurt G. Oh, I ended up getting one off here, a couple off here. Let me hit it in this here. All right. All right, folks, I'm going to bang out of here. If you want to learn a little bit more about this, go to TradePhantoms.com. Right, click on register. Yeah, but just be careful today. It's kind of odd. So we got, you put your name, email, etc., phone number, register Thursday, September 25th. A couple days from now, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 days away. Here's an agenda. I'm not going to read all that out. You'll be hosted by either Mr. Black or Mr. Green. Sometimes they both do that together there to help each other out. Y'all can read this. We're all professionals on this side here. So if you're just starting out looking to trade on the side here, just for trading for some side, just a beginning for some income, cool. Long-term wealth as well. We do everything here, not just about stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto these days. Small accounts all the way up into large accounts. We got people from the range of is still in high school, just starting out, if you will, right? Custodial accounts, all the way to longer-term retirees. No age, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, and everything in the middle, right? So come one, come all. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's cool as well. We're still going to do our thing. And yeah, I'll see some of y'all later today, Mr. Blue, right? In some of the classes. There's other classes, of course, with Mr. Green, Mr. Black. But I'll see some of y'all later today. We're back, right? I'm back in the home base here. So just getting back back on track. And we'll take it from there. Tomorrow morning, God willing, I'll be with y'all in the live trade room. And no delay, no nothing, no socials. And let's hit it. Let's rip it. God bless. Mr. Blue, I'm hoping to start that off tomorrow, Cisco. Mr. Blue, when you start that long book, short book, I'm hoping to start that off tomorrow. Definitely this week for sure, no matter what. All right, just got back in my house basically on Saturday. Then I had like 2 weeks. I was out for 2 weeks, so I had like unpack all this BS, right? So I'm just getting back like good to go. Should be good. And yeah, we'll take off. Cool, fair enough. All right, folks, trade safe, trade safe, trade safe, trade safe. I'm just going to be chipping away here, and just be patient, be disciplined, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. God bless. Take care. Blue out.